For some analysis, I spoke to Mark Watson. He's director at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute in Washington. There seems to have been a bit of a shift in the rhetoric from American officials when it comes to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. What are you picking up?
Yeah, there definitely has been, Kieran, and I think it's reflective of a change in the psychology here in Washington, if not actual policy. We had Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Kiev saying that on some levels Russia's already lost the war, given the loss of material and manpower and the economic damage it's suffering. And then we had Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin saying that the US really wanted to see Russia weakened militarily out of all this to the point where it wouldn't be able to launch another offensive operation like this. Now, I think Secretary Austin went off script there. I don't think it's reflective of a change of policy, and indeed the administration walked it back pretty quickly. But it is reflective of this sense that we don't need to be on the back foot all the time, that now the US can get on the front foot a bit more. People here are talking, Ukraine can win this war. And it reminds me, Kieran, to be honest, of the famous words of Winston Churchill in the Second World War after the Allied victory at El Alamein. The Allies had been on the back foot, suffering defeat after defeat. But after El Alamein, he said, this isn't the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. And I think there's a sense here that the first phase of this war has concluded. The Russians haven't been able to achieve their objectives, and it's now time to look at this through a different lens.
Initially, there was quite a bit of support for the way that the Biden administration responded, building international consensus. What's the view out of Washington today in terms of the US leadership in this regard?
Look, I think that, the US population, as reflected in opinion polls, want this administration to do more to support Ukraine. They are more open to the possibility of direct confrontation. By that I mean, say, for example, enforcing a no-fly zone with with potential direct confrontation with Russian military forces. So I think that is it a case of the policy now will follow the public opinion, or is it the other way around? It's not clear, but this continuing story of Russian atrocities in Ukraine plays out nightly on the news here, and it's definitely affected public opinion. And as I say, I think there's a change of psychology at the senior levels of government and in the policymakers that now maybe is the time to get on the front foot a little bit.